Wiped it out.
Well, isn't that what they're talking about at Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and Sally Mae? Oh, no, not Sally Mae yet. Give it a minute. It'll be Sally Mae next. But isn't that what happened? Everybody had 40 acres and a mule. They had a chicken in every pot and had a window to throw it out of. And everybody had a Mac mansion. And, boy, everything was just rolling. And then all of a sudden everybody said, there's a problem, there's a problem, there's a problem, there's unemployment. They said there was unemployment before there was unemployment. They said everybody was going to lose their house before anybody lost their house. And then the next thing you know, everybody went from zero to hero overnight, and then they went back to zero and worse than zero immediately. Just because they announced it. Well, that's outer kingdom business. That's from the outer kingdom, what we call the boob tube or the looky box or the World Wide Web, and pick your chip body, pick something you want to. All that does is that wraps up succinctly and brings back to the point what a marvelous creator you are. And if you get that, if you take personal responsibility to everything that's going on planet Earth, then you find your power, and then you can overlay it with a new thought and change it to suit you. We must tell you not everyone lost their house. We must tell you not everyone went to the poorhouse. We must tell you not everyone, some of those folks didn't even have a worky job, so they didn't lose a worky job. For some human creators, money flows freely and easily to them. They have no issue. For some people, they have, in their meat sack body, they have issue, and then they overlay it with a new thought, and then their body naturally, perfectly corrects itself. It's not a problem. Take Alzheimer's victims. It's great fun. They'll be feeble, and their livers ain't working, and their hearts quit ticking, and their minds quit doing, and they're just falling apart, and they're on 2 sackfuls of pills and law. It's just on death's door. Well, they don't want to die, but they get real tired of living, so they catch Alzheimer's. And guess what happens? They learn to relax and allow. And guess what happens? The cares of life grow strangely dim. Now, that's why they have to build these insane asylums to put the Alzheimer's victims into. You know why? Their bodies get better. They no longer have dietary restrictions. They no longer have sugar diabetes. Their bodies, they don't have these issues, so their body naturally adjusts itself to get back to the way that it naturally works anyway. You don't have the same lips that you had 5 years ago. You don't have the same rectum that you had a year ago. Your cells are constantly sloughing off, and you are replacing them. And what you're replacing them with is what you tell those cells to replicate. So if you had power, you could adjust the information going to those cells, and guess what? No problem. No issue. No problem in the meat sack body. And any issue that you do experience or bump into or find, because see, we're not having trouble with contrast. That just lets you know what you choose. If you get up in the night to go pee and you stump your big toe on something, you might have an expletive to say as you knock your toe off. But guess what? The pain that you feel from that experience, that's not a bad thing. It lets you know you've got a big toe. You could get neuropathy to such a degree that you didn't feel it. You could knock your toe off, get gangrene, and the thing rot off. So that contrast that you experience, however minor, it goes away soon enough. But it lets you your big toe says, hey, 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 big toe, don't be cutting me into things. That's smart. Okay? But that's not an issue. That's just how you prefer to mind your P's and Q's and your steps so you don't knock your toe off. It's not a problem. It's delicious. You can't get it wrong, and you never get it done. This thing called life. When is laundry done?
I don't know. When it's done?
When? Never. If you get every stitch of dirty clothes you got, if you get every stitch of dirty clothes you got washed up, when you take the clothes off you got on, They're right back to laundry again.
Yes, I was noticing that today.
Yes, indeed, indeed. And that's not a problem. You enjoy having clean, fresh, washed, laundered, ironed clothes.
But if we were truly powerful, wouldn't we be able to just think and manifest clothes into existence that were...
You do already. You do already. How did the clothes you have now get into your experience?
Well, I had to go to the store and buy them.
Where did you know to go?
You know, where they sell those things, clothes.
Okay, and so therefore, and the style was set up in such a way that you even had choices and propensity of what you'd like to enjoy. Has no one ever gifted you with a shirt?
Oh yes, it has.
Well, that showed up in your reality, and you didn't even have to go to the clothing store, did you?
No, I didn't.
Well, same way. But this process, humans like this process of chasing after things to pick and choose, and it's wonderful. And how can a shirt cost 50 cents at the Goodwill and be made of the exact same thing that Hermes sells one for $1,500 for?
Yeah.
There's a difference somewhere, but we don't know where.
Yes.
It's made out of cotton. They're both cotton. They both do the same thing, and yet one's 50 cents and one's $1,500. So that's the essence of how far your propensity or capacity of creation goes. It goes the entire gamut. It goes the extreme. Everything that's ever been created that's got a name, human creators created it. Every single time without failure or exception. How many people died of cancer before they named it?
I don't know.
Not one. Not one. But they named it. And oh boy, then everybody started catching the cancer. And then it was pretty drastic.
Well, do a lot of our subconscious thoughts and fears and projections also end up molding the external environment?
What is subconscious? What would you call subconscious?
Well, something that we're not aware of at the conscious level.
What is that? There is nothing you're not aware of. If you're not aware of it, then it is not. There is no subconscious or unconscious, for that matter. There is not that separation.
There's not even consciousness.
There's not even consciousness. That's exactly right. Are you conscious now? Are you whole in your body now?
I would probably answer that negatively.
Right, and that would be truthfully said. And if you said the other way, we'd say, okay, get a microscope and put your hand under the microscope and look at it. Look at it real close, and it won't be long. If you have any decent magnification, you'll see right through your hand.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going, holy crap, wait a minute. I have a hand. I feel my hand. I see my hand. Do I prick my hand and it not bleed? Well, and yet even so, you can see right through it. So that's the place of power that we're speaking of. And it's all encompassing. So you can be, do, or have anything. And that's the time we're in now, as far as timing goes. Now, human creators that embrace this, and they play with it, and there's a word Bob uses a lot, and we agree, with what they call tactility, because every conversation is two conversations, meaning every conversation is just that. It's two conversations. So as you warm up and come into this particular place, every choice isn't just that. It's a choice. There's not a wrong choice. There's just a preferred choice. But sometimes you kind of got to screw things up so you can see what you like.
That's true, yes. Yeah,
and that's not a problem. If you know you can't get it wrong, and you know it's like laundry, you're never going to get it done, that takes all the pressure off of all this fear-based reality of not being in your place of power. And isn't it interesting when you ignore, get rid of, push against, and just dismiss something that it withers away? It's amazing. Second they quit talking about it, it gets better.
So, if to actually eliminate something from our lives that we don't desire, the ideal way to do that would be to not focus on that. Is that
right? And you can't uncreate. You can't uncreate, but you can overlay with a new thought, a new process. And that's nothing other than, do you have to taste every single flavor of ice cream that there is to decide which flavor you prefer? No. People, humans, they don't know what they like. They like what they know.
Interesting.
Okay? It is. When you think about it, now, we ain't made up any new words tonight. We're using y'all's words. We spend a great deal of time with Noah Webster, the lexicographer. If you humans knew what you were speaking out of your mouth, which is the essence of all creation, many of the words that you use isn't what you mean. And then that's what shows up, and then you're confounded with your very essence of creation. So, as you get type specific, now here you set this up, you got one mouth, one behind, and two ears.
Okay.
And we jokingly say you should use them accordingly. What comes out of your mouth, your ears hear, and every thought that you think in your mind, we call it the labyrinth of your mind. The intelligent community, they have a vast labyrinth. All that means is that they can't figure out nothing. The simpletons, they have a straight shot through. It is, or it ain't. Well, if it is, okay, it is. Now, this isn't a new concept. Shakespeare got pretty famous. To be or not to be? That is the question. No, actually what he was saying is to is or not to is. So that's not even a new concept. See, there's just really nothing new under the sun. You're just coming back around into your place of power. And when you start playing with this just a little bit, and you start activating and energizing your non-physical power, then what happens? Then all of a sudden, little things, you can think of something that shows up in your house, and you go, holy crap, I thought of pick something, a super gelato, and super gelato showed up in my world. Boom. And you go, wow. And we say start with simple, easy little things. You know, you don't have to move Australia, although it is moving. You don't have to cause a tsunami. Bob's caused several. You don't have to cause an earthquake to stop air traffic, but a lot of our clients have. And they know this, and they're so busy pleasing the light themselves, they don't even care if you're inconvenienced. Their feelings become unhurtable because they understand that love is not an emotion. Love is a force field. If you get what love is, and you can separate it from an emotion, then love is patient. It is kind. It is allowing. It's whether it's a force field, it's included or excluded. You can love someone from 3,000 miles away, but you also can sleep with them, too, and engage in coitus prolifically.
From that far away?
From that far away, certainly.
Okay.
And from that close. There's some people that shares the same toothbrush and can't stand each other in the same bedroom.
Probably a lot of those.
Well, of course. And when you start realizing that it's just indeed a force field, then it takes all the pressure off. Very wonderful, very wonderful. Now, we rambled on just a little bit. Did you have other questions you'd like to embrace?
Well, I'm kind of enjoying going with this flow.
Well, you're getting the primer course. We're getting the primer course. Now, when we have sessions, private engagement with human creators, it's a little bit different than this is. How that works, once you come into your power, you can know all, everything, future, past, present.